event. ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಡಿನ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಪುತ್ರ ಸರ್ ಎಂ ವಿಶ್ವೇಶ್ವರಯ್ಯನವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಮರಿಸುತ್ತಾ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. A very good morning to everyone who have assembled here. It's my privilege to welcome you all to this awareness program where we come together to educate and larval structures you see are the result of our intellect and hard work. From organic architecture to timeless structures, only civil engineers make it possible. The masterpiece, born of our hard work, immortalize our contribution to the history. We are accountable to generations ahead. We lay the foundations for the life itself. The harder you work for something, the greater you feel when you achieve it. As civil engineers, you hold the power to transform challenges into opportunities, turning ideas into landmarks that stand the test of time. Every bridge you design, every road you build, and every structure you create is a testament to humanity's resilience and innovation. Feel proud to be the civil engineers of today, the guardians of sustainability, and the pioneers of better, smarter, and a safer world. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Karnataka Professional Civil Engineering Act Steering Consortium, in association with Bangalore Institute of Technology, I, Dr. Arpita D., your host for today's program, feel it as my absolute pleasure to extend a hearty welcome as we are delighted to have such a wonderful gathering of passionate individuals ready to make a difference through awareness and action. The galaxy of intellectuals, invited guests, teachers, and my dear friends. How different is the morning today? Indeed, very wonderful. The vibes around here tell a beautiful tale which is unforgettable. Today, we unite for a purpose, to stand, to learn, and to keep a step toward creating positive change in our community. Your presence here speaks volumes about your commitment to the cause. This program is not just about information. It's inspiration, collaboration, and the collective effort to address the values and importance of the Act effectively. As we set out on this intellectual journey, we hope that today's program will offer all attendees a plethora of insights, enable fruitful interactions, and inspire fresh perspectives. Every experience in your life is being orchestrated to teach you something you need to know to move forward. I believe that the secret of education lies in respecting the student. When educating the minds of our youth, we must not forget to educate their heart. Before we proceed to understand the importance of KPCEA, it's quite important to know that our modern education system has little room for curiosity and exploration. I strongly feel the first responsibility lies inside the classroom, as future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of the dreams. My teachers always showed me where to look, but never told me what to see. They knew well that if they tell me, I forget. If they teach me, I remember. And beyond all, they believed that if they involve me, I will learn. Finally, I understood intelligence and character is the goal of true education. Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act is a cornerstone for promoting professionalism, accountability, and safety in our industry. Today's program aims not only to highlight various aspects associated with it, but designed to engage thought-provoking discussions and stimulate fresh perspectives to empower our budding engineers of various opportunities open for us and paving the way to shape the young minds as leaders. Without further ado, let's begin our journey into the intriguing world of awareness program. Prayer has the power to bring clarity.
ಸುಜನರ ಪೊರೆವನೇ ದಯಮಾಡು ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಪಾಶಾಂಕುಶದರ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಮೂಷಿಕವಾಹನ ಮುನಿಜನ ಪ್ರೇಮ ಪಾಶಾಂಕುಶಧರ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಮೂಷಿಕವಾಹನ ಮುನಿಜನ ಪ್ರೇಮ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಮೋದದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದವ ತೋರೋ ಸಾಗುವಂದಿತನೇ ಮೋದದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದವ ತೋರೋ ಸಾಧು ವಂದಿತನೇ ಆದರದಿಂದಲಿ ಸರಸಿ ಜನಾಭಶ್ರೀ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ನಿರುತ ನೆನೆಯುವಂತೆ ದಯಮಾಡೋ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗೌರೀತನಯ ತ್ರಿಜಗವಂದಿತನೇ ಸುಜನರ ಪೊರೆವನೇ ದಯಮಾಡೋ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ. Thank you.
Work through the prayer, guide us throughout the event. Civil engineering is a silent force behind civilization's growth. Be proud of your role in making life possible, comfortable, and inspiring for millions. The skyline of cities, the safety of bridges, and the sustainability of the planet depend on your vision and commitment. Be the change maker the world needs. Every project you touch tells this determination stories, skill, and innovation. Be proud of the legacy you are building. Few years back, my eyes went on the bold lines in the newspaper titled, "Civil Engineers Urge Government for Law to Safeguard the Profession." The distance between dream and reality is called action. It takes a good effort to begin and a great effort to complete the task. As we know, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. Finally, the day came where efforts were rewarded and the lines got printed. Karnataka Legislative Assembly passes Professional Civil Engineers Bill and it's on pathway. Yes, the Karnataka Legislative Assembly had passed the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Bill 2024 to allow only registered engineers to approve building plans, ensuring that they will be accountable for all eventualities, responsible for critical construction and infrastructure development.
Good morning, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. From 9 o'clock, I am observing the students and others coming into the auditorium, and some of them, they've come and they went back. I don't know what is the reason, but even here, this is a gathering of civil engineering professionals, civil engineering faculty, and civil engineering students, and the future professionals. And we have assembled here to discuss about the professionalism and the act passed by the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act by the Karnataka government. I've seen many programs organized by many other professionals, chartered accountants, architects, lawyers, and especially civil engineering programs, when it is included the civil engineering students. The word professionalism, I think we need to understand first. All of us have joined here to learn about the Professional Civil Engineers Act. In 1985, there was a major collapse of Gangaram building and a lot of people died. And after that, many incidences are happening because of quality issues, professional issues. And whenever there is a damage, the society blames civil engineers. And if you see the last few years, the demand for civil engineering courses is also reducing. But at the same time, if you look at the country level or at the global level, the kind of infrastructure projects, the kind of budgets sanctioned by various governments for civil engineering related activities is increasing. But there is a lot of gap of quality civil engineers. And Association of Consulting Civil Engineers and many other professional bodies from last several years talking about Professional Civil Engineers Bill or in general Engineers Bill. It is not happening. Fortunately, at Karnataka government, in Karnataka, we have a bill now. Then it is expected that in the next few years, the complete scenario, the complete industry scene of civil engineering will change. That is the anticipation of many of the civil engineers. And for this to happen, the civil engineering students, the next professionals, are most important and key factors. To address various issues connected to this, today we have assembled. One side you have infrastructure growth, the other side we have a lot of gaps, and whenever you see the employability issues, normally civil engineers are not well paid. Society of Civil Engineers says civil engineers are the master builders. They are the key for any development of any organization. They have to collaborate with other engineering disciplines. Same time, the same ASCE vision document also says, in any platform, civil engineers don't come forward to take decisions. When the responsibility comes, they take back step. The others will rule civil engineers. So if you look at all these things at the global level, the problem is with the self-esteem or self-confidence of civil engineers. We don't think we are confident, we don't think we are on par or above the other professionals. When there is a responsibility, we don't take. So there are basically there is a systematic problem with all this. And we also claim in many of the platforms, civil engineering is the oldest profession. So if you look at all these things, I think the time has come. Today we are here to create awareness about what civil engineers are, what are the roles and responsibilities of civil engineers, and what Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act contains, and what is the industry tomorrow. Who will be responsible for quality infrastructure development, sustainable infrastructure development. So all these issues we will be discussing today. We have with us the stalwarts of the civil engineering industry. I will not take much time. I welcome all the guests, especially Gururaj sir, who is responsible for major projects in Karnataka and outside Karnataka. I welcome Dr. Gururaj S. Tali, the chief guest for today's program, on behalf of all of you. I request Srikanth. We also have another Chennai, all the metros, and I welcome Engineer K. Srinivas Reddy for this program. We have the heads of the departments of BIT Civil Engineering. Students and professional practicing civil engineers, we have to address all those challenges, and in the next days to come, with the support of the Professional Civil Engineers Act, I think we have to bring back the glory of civil engineering, and the industry will completely change with the enactment of this act. The most important thing is the employability of civil engineers, the industry-academia interaction, the way forward, what needs to be done, how all of you will be practicing civil engineering, what are the pros and cons of this program, the advantages of the Professional Civil Engineers Act, all that will be deliberated today. I request all of you to cooperate for the next 2 to 2.5 hours, understand what is the law that is going to be implemented, and all of you, by the time you come out as graduates of civil engineers, you need to be registered and working as per the guidelines of the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act and the rules and regulations framed by the Council of Civil Engineers in the days to come. I will not take much time. I welcome all of you once again to this interactive awareness program. Thank you very much.
I request Srikanth sir to kindly give a rose for Ashwath sir. Give a big round of applause for Ashwath sir for being so supportive in organizing the entire event. Meanwhile, I request all the students to please maintain the decorum of the auditorium. The commencement of our gathering today is marked by the cherished tradition, the lighting of the lamp. We are absolutely honored to invite all dignitaries to kindle the flame of enlightenment and officially inaugurate our event by offering floral tribute to Sir M. Vishweshwaraya. So please. Sir M.V., the statesman whose
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीप
Let's show them the respect they truly deserve. Give them a big round of applause for getting this beautiful act for all of us and making us proud. As the lamp continues to burn brightly, today we are here not only to be aware of Civil Engineering Act, but to rediscover the pride, passion, and purpose that makes this profession truly extraordinary. My dear future builders of the world, let's dive into the heart of civil engineering and ignite the love for this amazing field that transforms dreams into reality. So, with the language of light-speaking excellence into our event, let's set out on our journey. Civil engineers and professionals need to understand their rights, responsibilities, and obligations under the Act to comply effectively. When the public is aware that infrastructure projects are handled by qualified professionals, it increases the trust in safety and quality. The first step towards the change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. Now, the time is alarming us to be aware of our responsibilities and importance of the Act. I am deeply honored to invite Engineer Ajit Kumar SM, General Secretary KPCEA-SC, to tell us you must be the change you wish to see in the world.
Respected dignitaries, faculty members, practicing professionals, and dear students. It's an honor to address such a distinguished gathering of civil engineering professionals, academicians, and future leaders of our country and our industry. Today, we have come together for an important purpose to understand the significance of the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act and the National Building Code 2016. These are not just a document or a regulation. They are pillars of our profession designed to elevate civil engineering to a new heights. The KPCE Act is a landmark step towards professionalizing civil engineering practice in Karnataka. It aims to establish a regulatory framework that ensures ethical practice, professionalism, and the accountability among civil engineers. Protect the interest of the society by ensuring that construction activities adhere to the safety and the quality standards. Empowering civil engineers with recognition, making them custodians of the ethical and safe development. For students, this act is the call to take your education seriously, to prepare for the future where you will be held to the highest standards. For practicing professionals, commit to ethical practices, continuous learning, and contributing to the safer, greener, and more sustainable future. Together, we can make civil engineering not just a profession, but a force of societal transformation. Thank you, and I look forward for an engaging and enlightening sessions ahead. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting that civil engineering, every blueprint is a promise, every structure is a legacy, and every effort is a step toward the greater world. Stand tall as we are its creators. Be proud as civil engineers. We don't just build structures, we build hope and the foundation of humanity's future. There will be a question and answer sessions at the end. Be ready to dive into the discussions. Think about the joy of seeing a child playing in the park we designed, or the satisfaction of knowing our work that keeps the people safe during the storm. This is the magic of being a civil engineer. We don't just work with concrete and steel, we work with purpose and make lives better every single day. Today, we are truly fortunate to have with us our chief guest, engineer Gururaj S. Thali, Chairman and MD, Enotech Engineering Consultant Private Limited, a great visionary personality who has an illustrious career, leader with 50+ extensive years of experience and has made a significant contribution to the construction industry, showcasing leadership in pioneering innovative solutions to the structural world. May I now request Dr. Narayan, Dean, SJC Institute of Technology, to introduce the chief guest of today's program.
Jai Shri Gurudev. Good morning, one and all. It's my privilege and honor to introduce Engineer Gururaj S. Thali on this auspicious occasion. He's an experienced leader with over 50 years of experience in consultancy within the construction industry. Founded Potential Services Consultants Private Limited in the year 1987. Pioneering structural and electromechanical design services with a focus on creativity, quality, and professional excellence. Leading in Enotech Engineering Consultant Private Limited as CMD to establish international standards in structural design. Renowned for design of innovative, challenging, and outstanding projects. Sir has done graduation from UVCE Bangalore in the year 1967. Post-graduation from Indian Institute of Science 1969. Masters in Civil Engineering. And is highly experienced structural design consultant, as I told you, with over 54 years of experience in managing and leading structural design projects across India, Kuwait, Dubai, Sharjah, Jordan, and Egypt. Known for innovative solutions and excellence in designing high-rise structures, residential complexes, commercial complexes, factories, malls, five-star hotels, large mixed-use projects, and hospitals. As a technical achievement and initiatives, Sir is winner of American Concrete Institute ACI Award in the year 2017 for high-rise construction and innovative usage of concrete. Outstanding Concrete Engineer Award, Indian Concrete Institute, Bangalore in the year 2018. CV-led Eminent Personality Award in Civil Engineering Industry in 2012. Lifetime Achievement Award, Indian Concrete Institute, 2024. Developed and patented the bracketed flat plate structures, slab system in Singapore, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and India. Orders for high-rise structures and large spans. Usage of M60 to M70 grade concrete in buildings and usage of commercial RMC for the first time in Bangalore. for major commercial projects in the year 1999-2000. Complex retrofitting jobs which involves enhancing the foundations to accommodate additional floors past constructions. Proficiency in variety of structural systems including cast in situ RCC, precast, composite structures, structural steel buildings and space frames. Expertise in soil retention systems and top-down construction methodologies for deep basements. Designed over 450 million square feet of high-rise structures across various sectors, including residential, commercial, hospital, industrial, and healthcare. Implemented innovative structural systems such as waffle slabs and voided slabs for multi-storied commercial and residential buildings. Implemented slip form construction technology for IT commercial buildings. Expert in designing buildings utilizing IS codes, ACI codes, and Euro codes to ensure compliance with international standards. Specialized in designing buildings over 200 meters tall, employing advanced engineering principles and materials. Managed projects involving complex soil retention system, including diaphragm walls, secant piling, contiguous piling, and micropiling. Designed large span structures, RC wall slab system, and space frames in structural steel. Early use of fair-faced concrete, bush-hammered concrete, and forum-finished concrete in India and international projects. Pioneer in usage of welded mesh as reinforcement in the year 1973 itself for buildings. Led design team and collaborated with international and Indian architects, consultants, and developers to deliver successful projects on time and within budget. So coming out to technical skills, sir has got structural engineer, high-rise construction, innovative structural systems, soil retention system, top-down construction, precast, pre-stressed, composite steel constructions, compliance with IS codes, ACI codes, Euro codes for complex buildings. And sir has a professional membership of life member of Indian Cognitive Institute, life member of Instruct, life member of Institute of Engineers, life member of Indian Institute of Structural Engineer, life member of INSDAC, and member of ACI. Sir has a credit of publication, design of anchored sheet piles, Indian Concrete Journal in the year 1971, International Colloquium, Stability and Ductility of Steel Structures, SDSS, RAI, Brazil, 2010, on effects of wind on a three-dimensional steel structures, TCS, Chennai. So on behalf of KPCEA, I welcome sir for this grand occasion. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Engineer Gururaj Asthali, whose work and dedication have left indelible mark in their field. Give a big round of applause for our chief guest.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ನಮಸ್ತೆ good morning to all of you. I welcome all of you to this awareness program of the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act, which I feel is a historic moment in our civil engineering profession, and we have to recognize that this is the path for us to go forward and see that we are all recognized as professional engineers in the court of law and in the eyes of the public, which we are missing all this time. To come back to the way in which this Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act was formed is not probably 2 years or 3 years of struggle of the civil engineers. It's almost like from 85, 86, we have been planning to have this kind of a act passed by the central government. But unfortunately, it didn't go through because of a lot of reasons, and a lot of support which was required was not there. So It all started probably a couple of years back, about 3-4 years back or 5 years back, from from the engineers of the Karnataka to see that whether they can do it in the state assembly rather than in the central government. And that is how it started. And with the continuous efforts of the team led by Srikant Chanal, Ajit Kumar, Rajagopalan, and other team members, the act has been passed in the assembly, and now it is required to be implemented. So a lot of struggles have happened and sacrifices have happened to implement this rule. I thank the organizers, Dr. Ashwath from the BIT University and Mr. Chahal from KPCE to give me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you people. Thank you very much, sir. I just want to ask you, how many of you know about National Building Code? Can you please raise your hands? I don't see any of the students raising their hands. Can you please keep silent a little bit? Down. Hello, can you please focus on what I say? Silence, please. See, the people who are associated with buildings, infrastructure projects, as well as any other projects which come in the civil engineering industry. It is very much essential for the students to know about this 2012 or 16 National Building Code, Part 1 and Part 2, to be aware what is given in that code. It is like a rules and regulations for doing a project in the civil engineering industry. It gives what to do and what not to know about this, because it is not only civil engineering, you have to know other parts of the engineering like MEP, firefighting, and then some part of the architecture, some part of electrical, some part of mechanical, to know you're a full-time engineer able to do your work properly. So unless you know this one as a part of your program of education, when you come out in the for a career, you are completely unaware of the things what a National Building Code means. So it is very essential that this should become a part of the curriculum, wherein you are at least made aware of the codes, the requirements, the rules, the guidelines for doing a project. It is not only for engineers who are working in the design field, but also for all those who are in the project management, construction, any field you take. I think you should have this kind of a knowledge so that you can interact with them very well after knowing the rules and regulations of the industry. Most of you have learned about this National Building Code and what is the connection of that to the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act. There is a very interesting clause in the National Building Code, which I would read out. It is clause number 12.9, which says qualification of architect, engineers, structural engineers, geotechnical engineers, supervisors, town planners, landscape architects, urban designers, service personnel, and builder constructor. It says in the code, architects engineer code shall be registered by the authority or the body governing such profession constituted under a statute as competent to do the work for which they are employed. A guide for the equivalent technical qualifications and professional experience required for such registration with the authority is given in Annex A. In case of building and plumbing services, qualification for engineers for utility services shall be given in A 2.9. This clearly states that you need a professional body to monitor. Unfortunately, in civil engineering profession, there was no body to monitor, and that is where the Karnataka, and we are striving very hard to get it implemented by the rules and regulations of the Karnataka Professional Engineers Act. So coming to, once again, the code. Any building you design has to go through a lot of requirements of the code, not only National Building Code, but other codes which forms the part of the designs. Have you ever thought of the code which is now being in vogue, where you have to develop these kind of projects? How many of you know about Ayodhya temple recently built? Okay, most of you know about it, okay. See, here, there is no cement and steel used in the superstructure. How does it form a part of the code? Tell me. There is no code defining how to do this kind of building in the code. The code doesn't say anything about how these kind of buildings can be built. But if you look at back the history of any country, all the monumental buildings are done like that, without any of the rules, regulations. What is stipulated in this particular code, what we are talking about, is not there. There is no cement used, there is no steel used. Still, it can take the earthquake forces, lateral forces due to wind, and apart from the dead and live loads. So these are things which puts you in a fix. How many of you thought of, say, whether it follows the code? It doesn't follow the code, but still it has proven it is beyond the, beyond the code, where they have built this one, but taken care of the provision of earthquake and other things. This is a monumental work done by them, and hats off to them. This is not only being done now, it is done over thousands of years, and all the monumental buildings which you see is of this nature, where there was no cement or steel being used, and still withstanding high earthquake forces, especially in the north of India, and still surviving. So these are things which you have to look into it. When a code is formed, are we totally bound by that? No, you can go out, but out of the code, to prove that you can also design buildings which can withstand all these kind of forces, but you have to prove that to a set of people where they approve of this, and then you can do it. So these are the things which are, which has to be kept in mind while doing the designs and execution of that. So I close my small speech by saying thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, to the organizers and to the patient hearing of this. And also one more thing which I want to add, civil engineering is not a profession where earlier you were thinking it is only a field work, but it is also an office work where you can work like an IT industry, and you are also paid when you start the work with IT kind of salaries. I welcome any of you who wants to join us. Please come and approach me. Okay? Thank you very much.
Join me once again in thanking our esteemed chief guest with a big round of applause. Now, it is with immense pleasure and a sense of privilege I extend a heartfelt welcome to our guest of honor, Engineer K. Srinivas Reddy, MD, Design Tree Services Consultant Private Limited, an expert in providing engineering design consultancy services for sophisticated structures for the various projects. We are truly fortunate to have someone of such caliber and expertise grace this occasion. May I now invite Engineer Rajagopalan Sir, Treasurer KPCA, to introduce our guest of honor for today's program.
morning, everyone. I have a pleasure in introducing a professional colleague, Engineer Srinivas Reddy, who is a co-founder and Managing Director of Design Tree Consultants. He's an expert with over 16 years of inception of this firm, design consultancy firm called Design Tree Consultants, and having pursued over 34 years of experience in the construction industry. Prior to that, he was a director with the Potential Service Consultants, Director Projects. He's a graduate civil engineer from the Bangalore University, chartered engineer and fellow member of the Institution of Engineers, India, professional engineer from Engineering Council of India, professional member from RICS, London, life member of Institute of Concrete Institute, Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, Instruct, and various other professional bodies. He is an eminent engineer awardee from the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, and his expertise includes handling various structures with high-rise and large development projects across the country. And he has handled structures of over 250 meters height, deep basements, construction up to 30 meters of industrial structures. And apart from the commercial, residential, he has expertise in handling various industrial buildings and structures. He comes with a vast knowledge of showcasing the latest developments in the industry to the various builders, developers, and the corporates and institutions. He has a lot of expertise in the infrastructure and township planning. And he has been recognized as one of the top 25 consultants of India by the Consultants Review magazine. K. Srinivas Reddy has provided a lot of services to residential, commercial, hotels, malls, hospitals, industrial and institutional projects. His focus of attention in detailing of every aspects, optimizing the design and providing constructible solutions to the industry has been his key accomplishments. And apart from the design consultancy, what he is providing, he also expertises in providing construction management, quality control to all the customers with whom he is engaged. His office is headquartered in Bangalore with branches across various metropolitan cities like Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Pune. And recently, the last of it, what he has opened out is in Mumbai. And he has a team strength of over 600 people, dedicated professional engineers, and with which I request Engineer Srinivas Reddy to take over the dais.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very detailed introduction. Hi, good morning to all of you. Respectable dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and my friends, students. This is a great opportunity for me to address in this August gathering. Just wanted to highlight that in my professional career of 34 years, I never regretted being a civil engineer. Always proud to be a civil engineer. We build our nation. 14% of GDP approximately of India's growth is contributed from construction industry. So this is the attitude that we should develop ourselves, where what is that good things about civil engineers, why we should be proud of our profession. We are building our nation. Any irrigation projects, dams, you take history, whose name is taken forefront? Is it an architect or anybody else who is instrumental in that? No. It is we, civil engineers. And any dams are named after them. And it is a pride. There is no contemplation for those things. Nobody comes and claims ownership for those kind of projects, right? You go to the roadworks, you go to the railways, transportation, waterways, anywhere you just have a look at it, we leave our mark. We leave our profession. This is a pride, in fact, and our profiles can be changed through our attitude only, through our way of thinking, the way we represent, the way we tackle problems. That is the way we can develop ourselves. Consider any project, you have to first start from the Mother Earth. Okay, one project, aesthetics and spatial or concept is part of architectural profile. From there, it has to be designed, it has to be built. Any structure for that matter, it may be an infrastructure, it may be real estate projects, it may be a commercial project, anything for that matter, starts from foundation. Unless you know perfectly what is your ground capacity, what is your bearing capacity, you will not be in a position to take the foundations. To do your basements, you have to go deep, and you should be knowing your earth profile properties. For that, you have to become a geotechnical engineer. To go deep, you have to protect your side earth. Yes, you have to become a shoring engineer. Depending on the soil bearing capacities, you have to design your foundations. So you have to become spaces. When you go up, you will have different concepts altogether. It may be a shear wall system, it may be a outriggers, it may be perimeter walls, depending on the project usage and depending on the high rise. Then you have to design those things, you become a structural engineer. For that you need very high grade concrete and high strength steel. So you become a material engineer. From there, you move forward, you start constructing. So you become a technology engineer because you have to construct. You have to put a proper tower cranes. You have to put proper logistics. So you become a construction management engineer. From there, you move forward, you complete your structure. Then it has to be enveloped. You become a facade designer. That is part of your structural designing. From there, you move forward and you do protect the building. You become a waterproofing engineer. So many various kinds of engineering subjects. Civil engineering is a very, very vast subject. And from there, you have to accommodate services into that. You become a water management engineer, you become a plumbing engineer. Fire safety has to be taken. Fire safety engineers, you have to coordinate with them. Electrical engineering, you have to coordinate with them. So body, as a whole, if you consider the entire building, 90%, or say at least, okay, let me be optimistic or conservative, 75% of the works are done by civil engineers. And it is quite a substantial work what we are doing, and we are all consistently practicing it. However, civil engineers are less spoken. I don't know why. A building which is constructed, almost 75% of the contribution by civil engineers, credit goes to the planner. So this is where Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act become very, very necessity. Even in government departments, what is happening? Any tender for that matter it comes, people say that architect can quote in association with engineers. But there is no clause that any professional body, professional engineering company can quote the project in association with architects. So we need to bring this change because maximum amount of work we are doing and we are contributing. To be frank, we have taken one project now like that. It is Bangalore's prestigious project, Skydeck project. I think many of you might be knowing. Design Tree has taken that project, and architects are a consortium. Architects for us is Coop Hemiblo from Vienna. And total project goes under the name of Design Tree. That is a proud moment where civil engineers keep dictating, at least taking the lead role. So I recommend all of you, along with your professional skills, please take entrepreneurial skills also. You think out of the box, how you can do. In Design Tree, we are doing industrial projects with associate architects or in-house architects. In Design Tree, we are doing data center projects, where all these things are engineering-oriented buildings. Totally, engineering is 90%, look and feel is 10%. So where buildings are envisaged, where aesthetics, interiors, and other utilities are predominant, then architects and other colleagues will come into picture. NBC says, yes, it is 12 parts. NBC in totality is 12 parts. In that 12 parts, it covers fire safety. All these things are part of that NBC. And when KPCE is made in the interest of civil engineers, whenever there is a, looking down upon the profession, then their reservations come in and people start fighting. And this is one initiative taken over by my professional friends, headed by Mr. Shrikant Channel and Ajit Kumar. Yes, statutory government bodies, their immense effort has yielded the result that KPCE Council is being formed now. And all of you definitely can register in that and practice so that we are accountable for our work and we are responsible for our work and we only will be recognized for our work. So this needs to be done as a profession. Any professional bodies, medical council is there, lawyers council is there. Similarly, civil engineering council also should be there so that we are recognized properly. With this, the hooking up of KPCE along with NBC has got a great connect, which my senior colleagues would be talking on that. With this, I end my small opinion, and thank you very much.
Debated the significance of today's event, and we are deeply honored to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again express our gratitude and with a warm round of applause for our guest of honor. Of today's program, Engineer Gururajesh Thali, and the guest of honor, Engineer K. Srinivas Reddy. I request all the dignitaries to kindly do the honor as a token of appreciation for the eminent work. As we hear about KPCE and NBC 2016 and make best use of the opportunities ahead.
PhD in Concrete Structures from Indian Institute of Science. He has spent more than 20 years in teaching, research, and Consultancy. He was a professor of civil engineering at MS Ramaya Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Later, he moved from academics to industry in the year 2003. He was heading technical division of pre-stressing company BBR till 2007. Later, he joined Ultratech Cements Limited as head building products division, and later took over as a joint president and head technical services, continued as a technical advisor at Ultratech after his superannuation till 2021 October. Presently, he is practicing as an independent consultant and a technical advisor. He is actively involved in several professional bodies, to name a few: Indian Concrete Institute, Asian Concrete Federation, Indian Association and Structural Engineers, so on. He is actively involved in organizing several national and international conferences, and he was a distinguished visiting faculty professor at BMSCE from 2012 till 2017. He was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award by ICI in September 2022. So it's our honor and privilege to have Dr. Manmohan R. Kalgal for this August gathering. I welcome him, sir. So thank you.
It's still good morning, so it is not yet 12 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. I can understand your restlessness. Having been a teacher for more than 20 years, I can understand that a class is only 55 minutes. So sitting beyond that is a little difficult. And I was also a student in BMS, so I also know how it is. But here, I've been given the task of explaining to you what is KPCEA Act all about and what is its impact on the construction industry. Now, this topic is for you. This topic is not for me because I am already beyond the age where any impact can happen probably. But it is for you who is now coming into the industry. What is the impact of this particular act on you is what is important. Now, civil engineering, if somebody asks you what is civil engineering, probably you can give this answer. The simplest answer, but can give you a lot of meaning. Design, construction and maintenance of natural and built environment. There are two types of environment, the natural environment and the built environment in civil engineering. And I understand most of you are from final year civil engineering. Anybody who is from third year or second year? Okay, there are people who are from second year and third year as well, but majority appear to be from final year civil engineering. So, for convenience, we divide the civil engineering into some major groups like this. Not necessarily that is how it should be, but this is for just convenience. As Srinivas Reddy sir was telling, you have structural engineers, geotechnical engineers, transportation engineers, wastewater management people, water management people, as well as construction management people. Sometimes all put together there will be one engineer who will be doing all of that. So there is so much that is there in civil engineering. Now, we in India, the engineers have built several phenomenally beautiful structures of which you can be very proud. The expressways, the bridge, which is the most famous at this point of time, built in the toughest position in Jammu Kashmir area, the tallest statue in the world, the phenomenally efficient metros that are coming up now, beautiful bridges, all of these are examples of what Indian civil engineers can do. Now, we have several very challenging projects that we have done, but the challenges don't deter us. We take on more and more challenges, and we have successfully done what probably someone else has not done also. So the longest tunnels, the hardest or the most difficult terrain like Himalayas have posed a lot of challenges to us, and we have successfully managed. The Motera Stadium or the Narendra Modi Stadium, the signature bridge, the T2 terminal of the Mumbai Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport, they are all examples of what we can do. Now, haven't we been doing well? Yes, we have been doing well. But there is a but. What is this but for? This. You have also seen, or you are seeing every day, somewhere some bridge is collapsing, somewhere some metro is collapsing. Many a times even fairly recent or new structures are collapsing, and they are causing loss of life, injuries and financial loss as well. Even in the building sector, right around you, you see several buildings which are collapsing, again causing loss of life, causing injuries and financial losses. It's not necessary that it should collapse. Even failures like this, flooding, potholes, cracks in buildings, they are also failures, right? Now, why this is happening? Why are these failures or so-called failures are happening? That's because the construction practices in India are significantly different from what it is in developed country. We are improving, but we are still having certain issues. What are those issues? Major construction in India is, especially in the building sector, is in the unorganized sector. It's unorganized. There are no rules. Anybody can do whatever they want, and that is the area which you as engineers are going to enter, an unorganized sector. There is no awareness about technical, safety and environmental aspects. Although all of you have studied, the construction industry, which is not using you, is unaware about the technical issues, safety issues and environmental aspects. Now, engineered and semi-engineered constructions are limited to larger housing and infrastructure projects only, and the small, your house, my house, etc., they are being built with the unorganized people who have no idea as to what blunders are happening. Building regulations. There are very few building regulations. Even if they are there, they are not enforced effectively. Everybody is finding loopholes as to how to manage within the rules. There are no rules regarding skilling of workforce. In mechanical industry or other industries, there are several, like for example, fitters, turners, welders, all of these need to be trained. They should have a certificate before doing any work. Whereas for masons, there is no such requirement, right? So there is no rules regarding the skilling of workforce because engineers are not being mixes whatever he thinks is right, and that becomes the mortar or that becomes the concrete, and there is no control. So basically these are the pain points in India compared to a developed country. There is also no control over wastages. I don't know if you are aware that in most of the projects, the wastage is almost 10 to 15% or even probably 20%. You can imagine a costly material like steel or cement, if you are wasting 20%, it is a criminal loss and loss to the nation. So, how to become more sustainable, nobody cares a damn. So now let's come to what is profession and professionals. A profession, if you go around, you get a lot of definition for a profession. It's a disciplined group of individuals who have special training or a particular skill and who adhere to ethical standards. Look at this sentence. The word profession itself will have ethics built into it, special training or a particular skill built into it. A professional is a member of that profession. Now, these professionals actually have special knowledge and skills, and they apply this knowledge and skill set in the interest of the society. Building construction is not just a commercial activity. You are building somebody's dream. Somebody wants to have a dream realized through you as civil engineers. So, you must use your knowledge to build this. Professionals are accountable. If something happens, the professional should be able to take charge and say, yes, I have done a mistake. Or there should be an accountability for every professional. A professional is always governed by the codes and profess commitment to competence. So they work under certain set of guidelines and rules, which is essential. So that is the basic of profession and professionals. Now, the regulation of a profession. There are several professions which are regulated, but civil engineering construction is not regulated in India, but they are regulated everywhere else in the world. Now, an act, we are all talking of the Professional Civil Engineers Act now. What is an act? It's a regulation framed and enacted by a legislation of the state. It's not just a guideline. This is the regulation. Now, once that act comes into picture, all engineers will be governed by a council or a body which has got statutory powers. You can't do whatever you want and get away. Doctors can't do whatever they want and get away. Engineers also should not get away by not being accountable. Every profession, whether it is chartered accountant, advocate, nurses, all of them are governed by certain bodies, right? So, even under international treaties that we have signed, it is necessary that we have to have in every profession a code or a regulating body which will control the professional approach for the work. So in a regulated profession, you need a license or a certificate from a regulatory body to work. So without license, you cannot work in future when the act comes into picture. Now, if you see, the civil engineers and regulation of their profession is absent now in our country compared to the other countries. See how many countries have regulations for civil engineers. USA brought rules 1989. They have professional control over the civil engineering profession, but a large country like India, unfortunately, there are no regulations. Now look at the professions which are governed within India. Forget about what is happening outside the world. In India, there are professions of nurses, dentists, chartered accountants, lawyers, architects, company secretaries. Everybody has rules. And they are all called professionals. Are we not professionals? If we have to call ourselves professionals, we should have a governing body, we should have a regulating body. And that is what people have been fighting for, as Gurraj sir said, for the more than 30 years, people have been trying to bring this regulation. This is more like a self-regulation. We are asking, please put us under certain regulation so that society appreciates that we are professionals. Now, there are some more random issues I just want to highlight before going to the act. Earthquake effects, for example, are not being enforced upon for low-rise buildings. Only for tall buildings, there are rules, regulations. They are saying, have you designed it for earthquake and so on. But for low-rise, if you are building your house, nobody is an influence man. Earthquake can hit all buildings. And that happened in Gujarat, in the Bhuj earthquake that you are all aware of. Thousands of people were affected. Mandatory involvement of professionals is required for only 2 to 5% of the buildings as per the rules existing, and 98% or 95% of low-rise buildings are left to discretion of the owners. Now, the building permits are subject to scrutiny by non-technical administrator. You know that many local bodies do not have enough number of engineers. Even if you give designs, there is nobody to check. Only administrators or people who are in that particular position, they are doing the checking, non-technical. No practicing civil engineers involvement is taught in any advisory board. These are certain issues which are now making it necessary for us to have regulation. Stability certificates are issued by all and sundry. Mechanical people are issuing certificates. Architects are issuing certificates of stability. How can a non-civil engineer certify a building to be safe and stable unless he goes through the soil parameters, the load parameters, the foundation issues, the way it was constructed, the materials that were used? Without studying all of this, somebody takes 1,000 rupees and signs a stability certificate. They are making a mockery of the entire system. No subject-wise expertise is available in the government departments. That's what I was saying. There are no engineers who are specialized, who have exposure to various branches. I don't dare to read all of them, but you can understand. In a corporation, one engineer is certifying all of this, including geotechnical engineering, earthquake resistance, etc., etc. There is a body called Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, but the BBMP doesn't want to use their services to at least check those buildings. When you are making it compulsory for them to submit, if you make, there is nobody to check. The technical bid and financial bids are very important in a tendering process. The technical bid also will have implications in financial. So depending on how you are going to build, that is what is going to cost. And that is never taken into consideration. L1, L2, these are, whoever bids the lowest, maybe he knows nothing about what he is bidding, but that is what is happening in tendering process. Non-adherence to bylaws and codal requirements. There are impracticable framing of bylaws which are being tackled now. 95% buildings are under violation. Today, if you go and see the rules in BBMP and go and check any one of the construction that's happening, you will see that there are violations and violations and violations. So this is the problem. And then there are impracticable public tender delivery conditions. So all these need to be improved now. Zoning regulations, FARs, even these need to be looked into to see that the profession is robust and is regulated. Every profession has to be treated to its true professionalism that it deserves to reap the benefit of the profession. Now, if you see banks, I'm just giving some examples, which of course our Shrikant Chanal has prepared. Banks and financial institutions are headed by finance people. Judicial institutions are headed by law experts or judges. Medical facilities, they are headed by doctors. Universities are headed by educationalists, etc., are headed by scientists. But who is heading BDA, KHB, housing boards and so on? Either MLAs or MPs or administrators. Why this discrimination? When all of these are headed by professionals, here there is no rule. Anybody can head these organizations, and typically no technical person is promoted as head of BDA or head of water supply board or housing development board and so on. It's a pathetic situation. So what is the remedy? The remedy is get the civil engineering profession recognized and regulated. That's what we are working for. It's now progressing very fast. Make adherence to National Building Code mandatory. There's a beautiful document called National Building Code. Now when Gurraj sir asked, how many of you have read? Hardly anybody raised their hands from the back row, right? Only professionals who are there, they raise their hands. It is mandatory that all of you should study this beautiful document called National Building Code. 2016 version is the latest. Again, it will bring a rule or a regulation within Karnataka only for civil engineers. Because the engineers bill is planning to regulate all engineers at national level. It is pathetic that the engineering profession in the whole of this country, even to this day, is not regulated. If you ask somebody, what is the definition of an engineer? What is the definition of an engineer? Anybody who has passed engineering degree, or anybody who is practicing as engineer, anybody who has got a diploma in engineering, everybody calls himself an engineer. But only when you have a recognizing body, then you can boldly say. How architect will be recognized? An architect is one who is registered with the Council of Architecture. Who is a doctor? A doctor is one who is registered in the Medical Council of India. Who is a lawyer? He is one who is registered in the Bar Council. So how will you define an engineer, whether it is civil or mechanical or whatever? There is no definition. So this is a must. So ACC Bangalore Center tried to bring in this particular concept, and they started the work on Karnataka professional civil engineers. Now what is the process involved in bringing a bill or bringing an act? It's not that some politician can simply bring it or some chief minister can simply approve it. No, there are set procedures for bringing any act. Preparation of draft bill, our ACC did this. You can see a green tick. Scrutiny by various government departments. This has to be done because the departments have to approve that this is an act which can be passed. Preparation of final draft incorporating suggestions and modifications, this is also done. Tabling of the bill in Assembly and Council, this is also done. Approval by both the houses, both have to pass the bill. So that bill, when it is passed, only can be then sent to governor, who will sign, and it becomes an act. So the assent by the governor and publication of the act in the Gazette, even this is done, which means the bill has now become an act. Now it is a regulation. There is no escape. Anybody who is practicing in Karnataka has to undergo or register under this act. Otherwise, he cannot practice civil engineering. If somebody practices without license, he will be penalized. He can even be jailed. The formation of council and gazette publication is yet to be done. Act is only recently passed. Now, the rules and regulations are being written. The council, which of rules and regulations and gazetted publication, this is still to be done. And opening of a register and registration of professional engineers will start after the rules and regulations are written and the council is formed. The council has to be formed first. The council will write the rules and regulations. And then, of course, administration will be in the hands of council. Council will decide whether you are an eligible person to get registration, whether you can practice, what are the rules, etc., etc. So now we come to the Professional Civil Engineers Act. Can somebody press that? Just press ಮಾಡಿ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. On that you bring, on that sentence, bring the hand. No? Shrikant? Yeah. So let me very quickly go through the act which is now in place. It's signed by the governor. Gazette publication has happened. Very quickly, I'll give you some highlights as to what is there in this act. Now, the objective of the presentation is to demystify what is there. So the KPCE steering consortium or committee that time modified and fine-tuned that whatever was draft was prepared by that committee, which of course was renamed as civil engineering, or a master's degree in any discipline of civil engineering as defined by National Building Code 2016. I told you that there is a huge document called National Building Code. In that, they have given in detail what is the qualification to be called, etc., and also encompassing conceptual plans, master plans, layout plans, other design drawing, etc., for buildings and infrastructure. In any sector you want to practice as engineer, either in supervision or in design or in construction management, whatever, you have to register yourself first with the council. You have to get a certificate of practice. A professional civil engineer is one who has obtained a certificate of practice. Only if you have certificate of practice, you can call yourself a professional, and only if you are a professional, you are permitted to practice within the state of Karnataka. Now, similar things are being done in other states also. Ultimately, a national council also will come into picture, hopefully, because you will have to obey or work according to this. Certificate of practice means a certificate issued under section 22, whatever that is as per the guidance. A registered civil engineer means a person who has enrolled in this council. There are two aspects. One is you register yourself. Even to call yourself a civil engineer, you need to first register. Then when you want to say that I am a professional, you need a certificate of practice. So there are guidelines as to when you can register, when you can get a certificate of practice. Certificate of registration means a certificate issued to the civil engineer whose name is entered in the register maintained in the Act. A register means a register of professional civil engineers maintained under this Act. Now, the council which I was talking about consists of, there are several things in this chapter 2, but I am only highlighting some of these things. So the council, Karnataka Council of Professional Civil Engineers, is now going to be formed, and this council will be a body corporate by the same name, having perpetual succession, that is the government legal wording, and the headquarters of the council will be in Bangalore. Now this council consists of 18 members. Who are these 18 members? 10 members from the professional civil engineers. That means those who are existing professional civil engineers. From that, 10 people will be elected, and not just from Bangalore. 2 from Belgaum, 2 from Gulbarga, and 2 from Mangalore division or Mysore division, and 4 from Bangalore. So there is an equal distribution of representation of professional civil engineers. 1 member from academics, that is from VTU affiliated colleges. 1 member from the diploma colleges, that is under DTE. So 18 people will be there. 2 members to be co-opted, some senior people who don't want to stand for election, they can be co-opted for superior working of the council. There will be president and vice president in the body, and there are many other titles which are there in chapter 2, mode of elections, term of office, etc., etc. I am not highlighting all of this. This is how the council should work. So function of the council is to cause and prepare and maintain a register, to prescribe standards, to grant or refuse certificate of practice, to remove from the register the professionals if they are not following the rules, and to restore the register the name of the engineers which was removed. They only can take a decision. To exercise disciplinary powers, this is also very important. To manage the property of the council, manage and control fund, etc., etc. And then every civil engineer who intends to practice, I already mentioned this, has to mandatorily enroll himself in the register. Without that, you cannot do anything in the state of Karnataka as civil engineers. Any person who is working as civil engineer before the commencement of this act will be eligible to have his name entered in the register within 1 year. All fresh engineers, when you pass out, you have to go through the process, you have to register yourself. Then after 1, 2, or 3 years of experience, apply for a certificate of practice and get that to become a professional. You have to work under professional for 1, 2, or 3 years as the case may be. So any person who is having a degree in civil engineering is the one who is eligible for enrollment or registration, or somebody who possesses any qualification which is recognized by the council can also register, because somebody might get a degree from US or Sri Lanka or some other place, but he wants to practice in Karnataka. He has to appeal to the council. Council will decide whether to give permission or not. So that is why this clause is there. Every person needs to make an application as prescribed. Application will have all the details that are required. Upon entry of the name in the register, the certificate of enrollment will be given. So a certificate of enrollment will be given saying that we have recognized you. That's all. Not you cannot practice yet. You have to practice, you should have the experience. So certificate of practice, this rule governs that. So the register will have all these details and it is available for public if they want to see. Now in chapter 4, there is a lot of rules for misconduct, misrepresentation, cheating. For all of that, there are punishments, and even going up to imprisonment can be the punishment. First thing is they might remove you from the register itself, then you can't practice. In addition, they can impose fine, they can put you in jail, so you have to be careful. So I will not go through all these penalties for different misdemeanors of the people. There are different punishments which are there. Okay, so chapter 6 is also a small chapter, miscellaneous titles are there. This is also not very relevant to you as students at this point of time. Now, last 2 slides. What is the likely impact of this enactment in the construction industry and consulting engineers? Recognition will become easier. Now, when people were earlier not recognizing us, they were saying, suppose you do something, what can I catch hold of you? Nothing, you will escape. Now you can say we are regulated, our license will go if I do something wrong. So society will now start believing in us because we are now accountable. So that is the first benefit in the construction industry, recognition of civil engineering as a profession. Now please remember, now by this act, for every construction engineer is a must. So a floodgate will open for opportunities for civil engineers. Now when civil engineers are in shortage, salary will automatically go up because it is compulsory to have a civil engineer and you are not agreeing to go for 10,000 rupees, then obviously the rating will go up. It's all demand and supply, right? Right now there is no demand, but tremendous demand. This act applicable to the whole of state of Karnataka or later to the whole of the country. Responsibilities of registered engineers would be fixed, including ethical practice. Now this is the other googly for you. You have to be very ethical. You have to follow standard practices. So it becomes imminent that you must practice standard responsibilities you should be able to take. Upskilling and continual updating becomes mandatory because in all the acts in world over, you have to prove every 3 years or 5 years that you have upskilled yourself as a professional. Not that it's a one-time registration and be happy. No. Every 5 years or 3 years, as the case may be, you have to apply saying that I have upgraded myself in these last 3 years by doing exceptional work or by attending conferences or undergoing a course, etc., etc. So that becomes required. Elimination of non-civil engineers. All those who are practicing now as civil engineers, BCom holders, BSc holders, they are all calling themselves engineers and they are building houses. They will all be eliminated. All the quacks will be eliminated. Society would be reassured that professionalism is introduced in design and construction, so they start believing in us. Significant improvement in the quality of construction because now professionals will be handling construction. And the council would be an effective platform to...
Now, Let's turn our focus to a cornerstone of modern construction and engineering practices, the National Building Code of 2016 or NBC 2016. This document is not just a set of guidelines, it's a backbone of safe, sustainable, and efficient construction across the country. So let's dive in and uncover how NBC 2016 is driving safety, sustainability, and innovation in civil engineering. Please join me in welcoming Engineer Shrikant Channel, President, KPCEA Steering Consortium, who will be guiding us through this essential topic. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you. Dr. Kalgal sir has almost touched upon why the bill was necessary, why the act was necessary, and what are the processes that involved in that, and where we are standing today. And one thing you should remember, your future job opportunities in Karnataka depends on, along with your education, the registration number that you are going to get after the registration with the council. Whether it is a government or government undertaking or private, this registration is a must. And after this registration, only you are allowed to practice. Yeah. Let us have few statistical data about civil engineering and construction in the country. As you know, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation is the authority, central government department, which will give us the data about all the, not only the professionals, there are many things that it will keep the statistics, and we have taken with regards to the construction and civil engineering. Here, few of the things which I have taken, you can refer that www.mospi.nic.in. So that is the website. Okay, few of the things. Ratio of civil engineers required in the infrastructure to the building. For example, 1,000 crores worth of building, 1,000 crores worth of infrastructure, if it is there, the number of engineers required in infrastructure to the buildings is 1:4. That means to say, for road, whatever the construction is required for the roads, that is the infrastructure, the same amount of say 1,000 crores worth building sector, you need 65 to 70% goes to the buildings. You can imagine how big is the building sector. And in 2020, I have taken the data also, total for the construction in this infrastructure as well as housing, it is 28 lakh crores. And in that, buildings, 19 crores has been spent. Now, employment potential ratio of civil engineers, now you can think about it. See, employment opportunities, where is the opportunity? See, this is the problem with us, that we are unable to catch up where it is. So, building sector, 2%. So, I think Dr. Kalgal was also showing the same thing. That means the housing and the building sector is the future of the civil engineers, which is recently, diluted, and we have very diluted curriculum as of now. So, this question is for our academicians. Are we as an academia educating our future civil engineers for this particular challenge? Okay, now going next. The main topic is about the codes and the bylaws. Why I am touching this is, just now I mentioned that housing and the buildings are the future of our civil engineering, and to have, equipped that particular building sector and this housing sector, we need to know about the codes and the bylaws. And why the codes or the laws are required? Safety, comfort living, healthy and effective civic amenities, uniformity and discipline about the profession, then professionalism in building construction. For example, our BBMP bylaws. and NBC 2016, of course. Yeah. Now, difference between the codes and the bylaws. Can I know how many of you are aware of BBMP building bylaws, students? Can you raise your hands? Only one, two hands I saw. Okay. When you want to build a house, your parents must have done it for you, but when you want to build a house for you, you need to know how much setback you are supposed to leave, how much height is permitted, depending on the site and other things, which I will come to later. So codes are the standard set of instructions, guidelines that need to be followed by a professional to perform or execute a work or an activity given by the authentication. They have been kept recommendatory. So people will think that, oh, only for the recommendation, not compulsory. That is not the right way of approach. Why they have kept it for the recommendatory nature is, see, for the advancement, for the invention, there should be always a scope that should be considered, and for that purpose they have kept it as a recommendatory. Whereas these bylaws are the set of instructions which need to be followed compulsory. Laws are compulsory, mandatory, and these are to be followed by each and everyone. In India, this building of bylaws are under the domain of state governments. Unless and until the state government enacts these particular codes or anything, it will not become mandatory. Now, how this BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, has evolved. You can see it started in way back in 1946 with the establishment of Indian Standards Institution. Then in 1965, there was an expert committee appointed by that time Planning Commission, and based on that, certain conclusions were drawn, and 1970, first National Building Code, that is NBC, came out, and it has gone into several revisions, and today we have got 2016 code, and as Kalgal sir mentioned, it is under 4th revision, which may come very shortly. Now, these codes, there are of two types. One is the to ensure the safety of the occupants, and the other one is for the comfort of the living. There are two types of codes you can categorize, and once the state government, which I have already mentioned. Yeah. Now coming to the NBC, building permit process. Let me have few provisions that are there in the NBC. I would like to go through it. That is in volume 1, part 2, administration. I requested for a copy of the NBC, but anyway, we will see. That is the book, you can see. It is a very bulky volume. Yeah. Application. Every owner need to apply for the building permit to have any housing construction or anything. There are certain clauses to be followed as per that, which high-rise and low-rise different criteria are there. Building plan for high-rise buildings and more than 15-meter height, there are certain different strictures to be followed, whereas low-rise buildings, they are, as already mentioned, there is no much strictures that similar to the high-rise buildings, which we are actually want to change it. Yeah, structural design sufficiency certificate. Henceforth, as per the NBC, structurally this particular building is designed and it is safe for the occupants. Kind of a certificates need to be issued by a civil engineer. Henceforth, earthquakes, landslides, cyclones, floods, and etc. has to be mentioned and issue a certificate that is going to come as a structural design sufficiency certificate. Education and supervision, a particular builder or a constructor who is going to undertake the education. This is the major issue which everybody asks the question that construction, there are two confusions here. One, normally the society thinks that construction as such is anybody's job. It is not so. As per the NBC, constructor need to have the qualifications, technical qualifications, which I will tell you later on, who will be called as a builder or a constructor. Yeah. Preparation, signing of the drawings, I think our Chief guest Gurra sir has already read this. Registered professionals shall prepare and duly sign the plans, drawings as per the competence. Competence in the sense, whoever you are expert in that, only those things you are supposed to prepare it. And you have to mention your registration number. What is that registration number? Number is as allotted by the authority or the body governing such profession. Now, civil engineering profession in Karnataka, who is going to regulate? That is Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act Council. So that is going to come here. What I mean here is, whether it is private or government or any semi-government or anything, you need to register it as a civil engineer unless and until you want to go away from civil engineering. So, as a civil engineer, you are supposed to register, and then only you are allowed to practice. Even plans and information connected with the building permit, they will give the restriction on that, except engineering services of high-rise, special high-rise or special buildings. In the sense, you don't have any limitation, but the architects have got the limitation. Go to the next one. You have got structural details and calculations of the buildings. As a civil engineer, this particular competence is as a civil engineer. You have got an opportunity to design the structural designs up to 500 square meter, whereas they don't have that particular competence. Then go next. They have got issuing of certificate of supervision and completion of all buildings pertaining to architectural aspects. Just think about it. They have got the supervision of the building pertaining to only architectural aspects, whereas in our case, civil engineers issuing the certificate of supervision and competence for all buildings. In the sense, you don't have any kind of restriction put on it for supervision of engineering, architectural or services. But there is a restriction. Go to the next one. That is for the layout plans. For a civil engineer, preparation of subdivision / layout plans and related information connected with the development permit of area up to 1 hectare for metro cities and 2 hectare for other places. The same thing is there for architects also. You are no way less than them. Then, after that, they have got the issue of certificate for the supervision. For the same layouts, they have got a competence to supervise it, and civil engineers have also got issuing of certificate of supervision of the same. Sorry, they have got the limitation, you don't have the limitation here. You can see the F point, issuing of certificate of supervision for all areas. So please understand that we have not explored, we have not understood what the NBC has given us. So that is the biggest issue, and I request all the academic section here, please introduce or make it, part of your curriculum, that the professional practice or this where this NBC, building bylaws and such things will become part and parcel of their curriculum. Yeah. See, these are the forms NBC has given, form for engagement of the builder or the constructor. So their qualifications will be there, and their registration also will be there, who is supposed to again register with the council, and he has to give a undertaking that, yes, I am going to give the service for so-and-so building. So similarly, other certificates, this is the completed certificate by the same constructor, and this is different certificates from all the professionals like architect or a civil engineer for the planning, structural engineer for the design, then supervision, or a town planner, then geotechnical engineer and construction. These are the things that will come in the near future very soon. Yeah, so far we have studied some highlights about the NBC. Let me glance through our BBMP, which I have taken it as our reference. The building bylaws, what and how it is going to be. Yeah. See, building bylaws, here I would like to mention here the types of the bylaws. One is the special, that is specifically the bylaws that is applicable to the layout and the development of the areas, like how much area should be left out for the plots, how much should be for the roads and things like that. It will be for residential layout or maybe industrial, then it may be commercial. There are many things. And similarly, the second type is the buildings, specifically with respect to the how much setback, how much should be the height, how much should be the built-up area, what should be the height, and how many number of floors and things like that, based on the guidelines that they have set it. Now, other than that, there are certain zones, administrative offices and other things, qualification of the building construction officials, then these registrations and other things. One thing I think Kalgal sir did not mention was, the registration of the engineers is going to happen from a single place. So presently how it is, if I want to do the work in Bangalore, I need to register in BBMP Bangalore. If I want to practice in Mysore, I have to go there and register and then practice there. But once this council comes into effect, it will be at a single point registration, the way it is there for doctors, then lawyers and architects and things like that. Yeah, there are residential zones, certain parameters like, for example, even in residential zone, few commercial activities are allowed. Like, restaurants in the residential area, amusement centers, automobile repair shops, small playgrounds, then things like that. Commercial zone, main commercial area, and ancillary means, even in commercial area, small residence also is permitted. Similarly, for the other zones also, industrial zone, the main work may be industrial, but the residence and other services are also allowed there. Now, apart from this commercial, residential and industrial, there are some special purpose zones that have been made. See, some of the municipal bodies have created this. For example, Bangalore, Ring 1, Ring 2 and Ring 3, based on the congestion and restriction that need to be built. Central core area, then between central core area and up to the outer ring road, it is the second Ring 2, and Ring 3 is outside the ring road. So FAR and other things vary from one zone to another zone, one ring to another ring. Yeah. Now I would like to glance through the setback areas that in a residential building, how they are set. See, front and the rear setback. The front setback and back side setback always depends on the depth of the plot or the site, and the side setbacks depends on the proportional to the width of the plot. In case of the corner plots, for example, there is one road and another road. So for that setback, other side, roadside setback, that width will be considered as the depth for that. For from the front, this particular depth will be considered as the depth. Yeah. In case of irregular plots, this average and other things, they will take it based on the, for example, if it is varying, they will take the setback there, they will consider the setback here, and they will join that particular line. And if it is having some other shapes, average also nowadays they have made the option. And low-rise buildings up to 11.5 meter height, the setbacks are calculated as a percentage of depth. That is what I said. The front setbacks, for example, 12%, back will be 8% of the depth, sides will be again 8% of the widths, things like that, up to 11.5 meter height. Beyond that, it is something different, which I will show it to you. Yeah, this is based on the percentage of the depth of the plot and the width for different widths of the plot and depths. Say up to 6 meter, 6 to 9 meter, 9 meter. So right side, left side, front and rear. You can go through it later. It is available in the web. You can go to BBMP website and get it. Yes, beyond 11.5 meter, these are the things. When you go, say 12 meter or 13 meter, you have to leave all around 5 meter. So other such setbacks goes on increasing for different heights. It goes on increasing. Now coming back to floor area ratio. See, for example, if I have got certain area, I cannot go on building it whatever area I would like to. There are certain restrictions that are put. FAR, how much built up area you can build it. What is known as FAR, that FAR is nothing but net built up area minus the, divided by the plot area. So net built up area includes the total built up area minus certain things like parking, staircase headroom, lift well, lift machine room, ramps, ventilation and things like that. Yes, floor area shall be the aggregate of all the areas. I think I have told already. allowable FAR is directly proportional to the plot area of the plot and width of the road. So, FAR, how much FAR is allowed in particular plot depends on number one, the plot area itself. That is, for example, 30-40 site, 1,200 square feet, the FAR allowable is only 1.75. If you go 10,000 square meter plot, the FAR allowable is say 3.25. Higher the plot, higher will be the FAR presently. Whereas there is another restriction based on the road. 6-meter road, you can have only 1.75. Even if you have 10,000 square meter plot, FAR will be limited to only 1.75. This is how, based on the road width as well as plot area, the restriction have been put. The lesser only they will consider. Yeah, the ground coverage is the another one. At the plinth level, how much is the coverage? And there are certain definitions for ramp and minimum access that should be there to the plot. Let me rush through it because time is running out. Undertaking by the planner. So whoever does the planning, he has to undertake stating that fire and resistance to earthquake has been taken care. But I don't know how the architect can design for the resistance to earthquake. That is already existing in our bylaw, which we need to look into. Yeah. Then mandatory provisions, if it is G+3 floors, compulsory lift has to be provided. Then rainwater harvesting, solar, tree planting, they have made it mandatory. Transformer, if the built-up area is more than 500 square meter, then sufficient vehicle parking. Vehicle parking, again, there are certain restrictions. Yeah, this is the FAR I was talking about. See, up to 360 meters, ground coverage is 75%, FAR limiting is 1.75, and the road width is only up to 12 meter. So the plot area wise FAR and also the road width restriction is put. Whichever is minimum, they will consider it as the maximum. Yeah. There are again certain restrictions. If the road width is less than 9 meter, then the height is restricted only to 11.5 meter. I think one can go through it in detail. Then ring 2 and ring 3, how the difference of FAR will be counted. And you have seen many road widening cases that TDR, this transfer development rights were created. For example, in ring 2, if some road widening is going on, they will issue the TDR certificate which can be used in any of the, either in the same ring or other places. If they have used in the inner ring, then the area will get reduced and the outer area will increase. In the same area, in the same ring, it will remain the same. Then ancillary uses, presently court has withheld this, 20% were given in residential area for other usages which has been presently on hold. Similar regulations are enlisted for commercial, industrial and agriculture corridors. Yes. For layouts, minimum road width nowadays, that 6 meter has gone. 9 meter is the minimum and every fourth road need to be 12 meter width. And maximum of only 55% you can use it for the plots. And this other parks, open spaces, playground should be 15%. And that is the layout restrictions. And with regards to the amalgamation of the plots are concerned, there are certain controls that are being put. And for the bifurcation also, there are certain restrictions. Below 50 square meter, you cannot bifurcate the plot. These are the things which I was mentioning about the parking restrictions are requirements, not restriction, requirements. So for all different types of usage, car parking of this particular 2.5 meter by 5.5 meter required for so much of say 50 square meter of the floor area of say retail business, one parking is required. So based on this, you have to calculate how many parkings have to be given. Then fire safety is also taken care, multi-story building, high-rise buildings, and annexure of the NBC will apply. This has been incorporated in the building bylaws. Every building meant for human occupancy shall be provided with the exits of sufficient permit. I think you can go through it through NBC. Yes, this registered engineer or architect will become the norm to issue the certificate that this particular earthquake resistance and other things are taken care. Yeah, this is one sample of this plan sanction I have shown. One more thing, this violation is concerned. It may be setback or it may be height or other things. The 5% violation, at the end of the day, if anything is there, they will take the penalty and regularize it, whereas more than 5%, it will not be. So this is one example which we have shown it to you. This is the typical sanctioning process, the setbacks and other things, how it is done. You can visualize this. With this, I think, thanks for your patience here.
Thank you, sir. Your presentation has truly shared.
Civil engineers' demand will increase with the enactment of this KPCE, right? But there is a saying that civil engineers get low salary once they, graduate. But now will the demand increases? Will the salary increase as well? Right. So with the increase in salary, now the demand will slightly more increase. This will enable future civil engineering to also...
Please maintain silence.
Future civil engineers to also, take up more civil engineering, more projects will also meet that. But with the resources depleting, how to say, can we invent more sustainable methods?
Yes, I think chapter number 10 of NBC deals entirely with the sustainability aspect of it to, reuse our materials and recycle our materials and use the natural resources and things like that. You can go through that NBC. Definitely sustainability is well addressed in that, and all your concerns are there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. I wanted to just find out, IS codes are already there. IS codes go on getting revised.
IS 456.
No, IS codes themselves.
IS codes, okay.
Themselves. So NBC may not get revised, which becomes more, mandatory. IS codes will become mandatory. Or NBC incorporate that point already, that any revised IS code becomes the latest for the mandatory requirement. Just want to know. Because the NBC code mentions codes which may be older also in terms of age.
The designs, etc., has to be done as per the codes. The National Building Code is only a reference for us to proceed further with the various parameters which are given as far as all the services are considered. It includes architecture, structural, MEP, everything is included there. So that is a guidance for everybody to do the project. But final designs have to be done by the codes which are specifically there for each of the disciplines. I hope I answered.
Answered only the last part of it. Civil engineer is getting more prominence. He was wanting to know about that with more opportunities. For the benefit of that, I will tell you, when the opportunities become more, you get recognized well. See, for example, now, when a building is constructed, there is to be only one person who is doing design, supervision, and all those things. When it becomes a mandatory, then you will have multiple roles for civil engineers to do that. In fact, even, somebody specialized in designing and then giving a stability certificate will also have a role. So multiple opportunities start coming into your place, and then you get recognized, you start getting more income, and that will be on par with what Engineer Gurraj sir was telling, that you get recognized to the much better salary fetching professions, what known as software professions like that. So definitely there is going to be a much more and better opportunities with better income in the annual. Thank you.
It's one thing I want to tell you, because the civil engineering is one of the oldest profession in this earth, on this earth. For example, I will tell you, you must have heard about the Roorkee University, which is now IIT Roorkee. But it started as a Thomas College of Civil Engineering. Please. So, other professionals may be going up and down, but basic requirement of a civil engineering is there constantly as far as life is there on this earth. So, please be proud that you are a civil engineer.
Okay, Aravindan from Rajarajeshwari College of Engineering. And first of all, I would like to add some note on this.
Kindly maintain silence. We are not able to take up the questions.
On this awareness program. I first of all congratulate the Karnataka Professional Civil Engineering for making this event. So, as rightly pointed out during the inauguration, there is a decrease of self-awareness from civil engineers. They don't boldly take the opportunities. And some students, since I was handling civil engineering and I am a professional, my students work in Saudi Arabia and they earn around 1,80,000 rupees currently as a civil engineer. They are equivalent to software engineers apart from India. So they are working as scaffolding engineers, so they are working as all civil engineering. And I want to add some note. So this kind of activities should be gathered in order to make civil...
And alumni of NIT Bhopal and IIT Bangalore. My dear friends, tell you one thing, all the 7 wonders of the world are in the name of civil engineers. Be proud that we are following M. Vishweshwaraya. Respected Ashwath sir, all the Santosh sir, other people. Sir, I would like to ask a small 2 questions, not more than that. Karnataka Professional Civil Engineering Act you passed, but I have seen in the newspaper also and in the legislation also, there was an opposition from the Architect Association. They said it is going to hamper, I don't know what way they have put. So I would like to know what way we are going to interact with them. That is one thing. Sir, second thing, in our country, the unorganized construction is in very high number. Okay, whether you take a small village or a small town, Bangalore to theek hai, we can go and arrest him. Okay, but how we are going to implement this effectively in the unorganized sector? I remember recently Adani Cement has come to our college and said, sir, Nagaraj ji, we want to train some 32 unskilled civil contractors who have got no civil background. Okay, anyway, we told about the cement, we were told about the aggregate and all, and we will be having second symposium in Thursday. It means we are having this kind of people more and more. And if you make also like license compulsory, helmet compulsory, he will simply appoint name ke vaste one civil engineer appointment. Ultimately, he will be eating the malai.
Sir,
so
I got your...
thing, please.
Yeah, I got your question. Point number 1, with regards to the well addressed, see, when the bill was passed in the assembly and in the council, during the discussion of the council itself, there were oppositions from the architects. It was just a misunderstanding, and governor also actually wanted the clarification. We documented all the available data, like their own Architects Act of 1972. If you go through the preamble, it is very clear that the engineers can do their planning and other subjects without any bar. It is only thing is you need not have to call yourself as an architect. As an engineer, you are free to do all architectural services. That is the reason I compared and I have shown you whatever the NBC has competence has been defined. So, and that is with regards to Architects Act. They had filed a case in the Supreme Court, and March 2020, Supreme Court has given a verdict that you cannot restrict the civil engineers. And that verdict is already available. That document is also submitted. And similarly, this Government of India, Department of Science and Technology has issued a guidelines for practicing civil engineers, under which architecture is part of the civil engineering profession. So that particular aspect is already taken care, but Since they were exclusive so far, that particular objection came from them, but now that has already been solved. Number two, with regards to your unprofessionalism or the quacks that are doing this thing. I think Kalgal sir has well addressed it already, how it is going to remove the quacks. Each and every, even diploma engineer is going to be regulated, means you can understand the extent of potential job opportunities that an engineer is going to get. Because so far what has happened, because this other, mestris or gaundis or whatever we call, those people have captured the market, will start the restriction right from the sanctioning process itself. I think if you have heard my lecture carefully, certificate of engagements were there from the three basic professionals. One is from the planner, second structural engineer, third one is the constructor. If the structural engineer himself is the supervision, he will take care about that. So these three professionals minimum required to construct any building which is more than 500 square feet or 50 square meter. Up to 50 square meter it has been left free. Beyond 50 square meter it is mandatory. So as such, definitely it is going to improve, and without registration number, the planning itself will not happen. So that is the restriction. I think it will be taken care very carefully, but it is only a matter of time. It may take, because implementation itself will take about 2 years, and then onwards, maybe 3 or 4 years it will take. That is what I can tell you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inciting sessions. It was a happy moment as we kept on having the queries back to back. I thank so much for Engineer Shrikant, sir. Give him a big round of applause. Thank you all practicing engineers for shooting the questions and making us aware.
Program. Let me thank, behalf of Karnataka Professional Civil Engineers Act Steering Consortium, I would like to thank the chief guest and guest of honors of today's function for gracing this occasion and making this program a meaningful one. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank BIT College management and principal, HOD and the staff who helped us to organize this program. Their effort was remarkable. Without their confidence and push, it wouldn't have been possible for us to do this organize this program. Thank you, all the team members of BIT. I would like to thank colleges from various colleges who participated in today's function, starting with SJCIT, GSS College, Global, RV College, BJSIT, Rasta, Dayanand Sagar, BIT, CMTI, East West, and KSSEM, Mallad College of Engineering. These are the colleges who have participated in this today's awareness program. I would also like to thank the industry professionals who have attended this program. I would like to thank the audiovisual, Mr. Pradeep, who has done a wonderful job. I would like to thank Mr. Nagaraj, who is going to serve us a delicious food, which you will enjoy after this program. I would like to thank all the office bearers of consortium who helped me to organize this program. I would like, last but not the least, I would like to thank Dr. Arpita, who is the Master of Ceremonies for today's function, who has done a wonderful job. Thank you, everyone, for their contribution and support to make this program a grand success. And I urge all the civil engineering students, love the profession, have the passion, and become a proud civil engineers. And whatever is required from us as the seniors, we are giving you an act which will regulate you in the industry and create a lot of opportunities. Make use of this opportunity. And as we declared in initial awareness program, various competitions will be conducted regarding this NBC and Karnataka Professional Engineers Act. I request all the members who attended to participate in these various competitions and win a prize. And all those articles, posters, reels, and the elocution competitions will be published in our website. That is a great platform which we'll have, and also it will be displayed in our YouTube channels. A great platform for you to connect with the social media also. So request everyone to actively participate in various competitions and make this awareness program more meaningful, and thank one and all.
Thank you, sir. And we thank Engineer Ajit, sir, for being so supportive to carry out this event. As we near the end of today's program, let's take a moment to reflect on what we have learned. On behalf of Karnataka Professional Civil Engineering Act Steering Consortium, in association with Bangalore Institute of Technology, we express our gratitude once again for making it a great success. Coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. Do remember, as you walk out of here, be proud and love the journey. Let's today be the reminder that you are a part of something much bigger, a field that transforms lives, uplifts commitments, and shapes the future. Love what you do, because what you do truly matters. Finally, one cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one is not dined well. Let's join for networking sessions or refreshments, a great chance to mingle and discuss your thoughts about the program. It's been a great pleasure hosting you today. Thank you for all of us who has been a part of this program and making it truly memorable. I wish you all a great success in journey ahead. This is Dr. Arpita, the host of your today event, signing off. May I now request all the faculty, fraternity members who are from respective colleges to please